Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is another review for American Horror Stories, Season 2, Episode 3, Drive. So, we start out, we meet these two girls. They are at the bar. Their names are Marcy. Marcy. And her friend's name is Piper. They're at the club. You already know what that is. You know, they just at the bar drinking and, you know, seeing what they can see. And Marcy, she sees a guy across the bar who is kind of giving her the eye. And so they both notice him. But of course, Marcy says, well, you already know the rules. I saw him first. So I got dibs on that one. You know, Piper, it's cool. Whatever, girl. So, Piper, you know, she takes her cue and she just goes on by her business and lets the guy come on in and approach her. And he comes on over and his name is Wyatt, and they exchange the pleasantries, and then now they're on the dance floor dancing the night away, and it's real risque, you know. He's very handsy. They might as well have been screwing on the dance floor. It was very, very intimate. Because they filling up, kissing up, rubbing up, all that on the dance floor. But anyway, we see that they end up smashing in her car. And afterwards, he's trying to, you know, well, this is the part where you ask for my number and you try to call me every day and you try to, you know, build something off of this. Is that what we are now? And she's like, actually, nigga, this is the part where I asked you to get out my fucking car. Get the fuck out my car. And she proceeds to fix her lipstick and go on by her day. On her way home, there's this Jeep on her tail. And the Jeep is honking its horn and, you know, swerving. And, you know, she's looking like, what in the world? And he's just honking crazy, going nuts on the horn. And he even rear ends her. And she finally is able to get away from him. And then she like pulls off into this parking lot of a car wash and loses him. He pulls in behind her as well. But we see she's kind of ducked off and she watches him do that. And she gets away, you know, unscathed. And it's like, what in the world? What in the world? But she lasted a night. She lasted that night. When she gets home, we meet her husband. I think his name is Chase or Chaz or something like that. But anyway, we meet him and they have an open marriage. So it's obvious they have an open marriage, more so on her part, because he worries about her going out there and dating. And he's like, I don't really like that you're finding your dates on the dating sites. And maybe I should go with you, you know, to help, you know, just to keep an eye on you. And of course, she doesn't want him to do that. He's feeling like he's not really the primary partner anymore. He's feeling like he's, you know, second best. Meanwhile, she just got date after date after date, like every night. He's trying to, you know, get it going. And of course, she tired. Her box is through. Tired and through from the night she done had. And so it's woe out, and so is she. And so she declines, you know, respectfully declines. She gives him a kiss and it's like, maybe not tonight. I'm tired. Okay, and then it's 3 a.m. and she wakes up, she hears this noise, and she wakes up, and of course she got to go get a flashlight to see what the commotion is, and she goes all the way downstairs, like in like a cellar. You know, it looks like a wine cellar because I see the wine bottles all over. And it was just like a gust of wind, so it wasn't really anything down there, but Of course, there's a reason why they took us down there, because we're going to revisit that same space in their house later on in the episode, but hold tight. The next day, Marcy and Piper are out by her pool, and they're talking or whatever about her night before, and that guy following her and everything. And Piper, of course, is on the internet looking up stuff, because there have been a string of missing persons cases that have hit the area. Girls and guys, people just going missing from this club, the very same club that they like to frequent. And of course, Marcy, she ain't scared, she ain't worried about it, but Piper reads, she tells her about an urban legend where, and we see it while she's talking, there's a woman who was leaving the club and a guy jumped up from behind from out of her back seat and stabbed her in the neck and then left her head on the hood of her car, as the emblem, as the car emblem, like, Jaguar or Rolls Royce. He just stuck her head right on there. And so that's the urban legend. And, so Piper is worried. I don't really like that you're going out here like this. It's really not safe. Like, promise me that you are not going to bring any more guys to your car. And so friend promises, but that's a lie. This time we see her like really going in, on a woman. And so I guess she kept her word. She didn't bring a man back. She brought a woman back. And her Piper is standing outside the window like, and she tells the lady, it's time for you to go. And the girl is like, okay, girl. Nah, it's time for you to get out now. I heard you, girl. So she's rude to the people. And I'm just like, it's something about her. I didn't like her character because I felt like she was a bitch. But when we do find out what we find out later, it all made sense. It all made sense. Again, let's keep going. She's with the lady, and of course she excuses the lady, and Piper's out there. And once she steps outside to talk to Piper, she's like, of course, well, you told me not to bring a guy back to my car, so I brought a woman this time. And she's like, girl, that is not is something wrong with you? It's one thing to be in your open marriage and do whatever it is you do, but this is another thing at this point. This is every time we come here, I find you in the car with somebody. Do you have a problem? Are you a nympho? Are you a sex addict? Like, what's going on? Nympho, sex addict, same thing, but you get the gist. You get the gist. It's something going on internally as to why you cannot stop having sex with people. And they have a little spat, and then the girl, Marcy, got the nerve to say, so it sounds like you're jealous. Piper's like, girl, fuck you. That's where I'm at with it. Fuck you. Because you have me come out here to be your wing woman just to leave me in the middle of a club while you outside banging whomever. See, I was never the wing woman type. Because, for one, why you got me in strange places where I'm going to be the odd one out? I don't want to be your wing woman where you got me with some strange nigga and while you canoodling with the boy you like. Or, girl, no. Don't drag me on that escapade because I don't want to go. I'm always the friend that's got an attitude. And they like, why your friend got an attitude? Because I don't want to be here. I don't know you. She don't know you. I'm waiting on when it's time to go. That's why I got a scowl on my face. Is it time to go? Drug me over here. Don't do that. Don't do that to your friends. Granted, you want to make sure your friends are safe and all of that. But if you that friend that know you like to dibble and dabble all over town, you like to be here and there doing all this type of stuff, then don't be trying to drag nobody with you unless sis is down to do the same. I'm not finna be left in the club looking for you. Something could have happened to Piper. Anyway, let me get off the soapbox. Piper left her standing there. It's Marcy. That's where she at with it. Marcy go back in the club, and I guess she looking for somebody else to smash. She sees her husband sticking out like a sore thumb, and so she approaches him like, what you doing here? What's going on? Like, I am not going to be able to do what I do if you're going to be standing around like a chaperone. And of course, he's like, I had to follow you. I got to make sure you're safe. And she says, well, either you go or I go. Both of us ain't finna be sitting around here. And he just leaves, with his tail between his legs. Sir. You should have drug her up from out of there because she done already had a time. Girl, aren't you ready to go? Going back up in there with your dirty hands, and you was just in the car fingering somebody. And you want to come be back in the club. You done got what you came for, and yet you back in there seeing if you can get somebody else. Something is wrong with her. Later that night, when she's, walking to her car, she sees that Jeep. And she goes over there, looks at it. And the owner of the Jeep and a girl, they're coming out of the club as well. And they come into the Jeep. So, of course, she has to get back in her car. And she's watching him. And she sees him, exchange pleasantries and numbers with that girl he was walking out there with. And he gets in his car. He drunk, of course. But he gets in his car. And she follows him. I'm like, girl, I don't know about that. But anyway, she follows him. She's, driving behind him, trying to memorize his plates and all of that. And then all of a sudden, he like makes a left turn out of nowhere and she loses him. The next morning, she's on the computer looking up those plates, of course, looking up his information, like looking up all his information, name, number, where he worked, all that. She gets on and sees his social media and she finds out where he works and all of that. At the same time, her husband comes in and he wants to talk. He's feeling, again, he don't like the way things are going. It's looking like you getting your life and I'm just over here, just over here. And they have a little disagreement about that. He's really tired of the way that their marriage is going. And he's just pouring his little heart out. She tells him she's just always hungry. I'm just always hungry. I don't know what it is. Just something inside of me. I'm just always hungry. Again, that should have been a red flag for me. But y'all, I didn't pick up on nothing. Again, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Because I'm watching and I'm just like, what? When we going to get to the get? Okay, because I wasn't enjoying it. I'm going to just be honest. I was not enjoying this episode up until we got to where we were supposed to get to. We're almost there. So stay with me. Stay with me. He tells her that he's going to get an apartment. Maybe I should just go get me an apartment. And again, she don't care because she's still online. She sees where he works and she's like, oh, bingo. She look up, he gone. She wasn't even paying him no mind. Sir, just divorce her. But anyway, she goes to his place of employment and she sees where he works and all of that. She posted up outside. She goes inside and she walks, she's walking around, looking around, and the guy that owns the Jeep works there, like she thought, and he is the one that, can I help you? Can I help you find something? And she says she's just browsing, and he's showing her around the cutlery and all of that. She says she needs a new cutlery set, and he shows her one, pulls out the butcher knife and, telling her your butcher knife should feel like an extension of your arm. Just really creeping her out a little bit. Because it's like, a lot about these knives, and then he makes a dark joke about, okay, well, if you don't cook a lot, then I guess you could use the knife on your boyfriend. And she, and he gets a good laugh out of it. And she's like, I don't have a boyfriend. I got a husband. Him too. Whole time, again, he's the creep in the whole scenario. He's the one looking weird. And she, of course, has to get on up out of there. Because it's a weird interaction. It really is. Okay, and so at this point, Marcy is obsessed because now she's at his house. She is outside his house watching him get in the shower and all of that. And she sneaks into his house. And I'm thinking, now, bitch, what you need to go in his house for? You think he was following you and was trying to hurt you? We think he a killer at this point. Why are you in his house? She was in his house, walking around, just really snooping around. She grabs a little knife off the counter. And she's walking around, walking down the hall and all of that. And he gets out the shower while she in his room. And so she has to duck and hide under his desk. He gets out, puts his clothes on. He's sprucing up. He's finna go out on the town. And so he leaves out of the room. And when she hears the door shut, she comes scurrying out down the hallway. Well, he was waiting on her with a baseball bat. Like, why you in here? Why he gave her one good, he missed like the top of her head. But why you up in here? And she got her knife out like, I'll use it. Put the bat down. You're in his home telling him not to defend his home and himself. Girl, you put your knife down, crazy. You done walked up in his house. Anyway, she asked him, why was you following me? I know you was following me. He's like, oh, that was you? Girl, I was trying to save your life. It was the man in your back seat. And I was trying to get you to pull over. I was trying to get you to see it was somebody in your back seat. And, she's just, oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you were so helpful. All of that. She's just walking up close to him and all that. I said, oh, now you want to sleep with him. Okay, girl. Anyway, he was interested, of course, because at the store, he was telling her, you listen, come back round. I get off at 7. The name's Paul. But anyway, She gets close enough to him, up on his person. And she do one of these with a syringe. Got him right here. Right in the neck. Got him. It didn't take him down though. He was like, bitch, what is that? And he grabs her by the neck. I'll kill you. And he's choking her and about to choke her out. All of a sudden, here come Chase, whatever his name is. And he done hit the man over the head. So her husband was following her. I had to follow you. See, and this is why I got to follow you around. Then he picks up the syringe and is like, I told you can't use this. This isn't going to work. I'm like, so they're in this together? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Y'all, the next thing we see, she's at home. And, she's telling her husband, her guest is waiting. Her husband is like, just let me know when you're done with your work or whatever. And I'll come down there and clean up. I was like, see, so this whole time, she been the one snatching people up out of that club. Okay. So, of course, she goes in now, she goes down in there and it's a whole torture chamber. And which is the wine cellar. So like I said, we revisited that room in the house again. And this time everything is opened up. And you can see that it's a torture room. She got all type of stuff in there. And she tells him about all of her other victims. And she's like, I know you thought that he was trying to kill me, but he was actually my latest victim. Then we flash to what really happened to him when she had told him to got her car. He had his back to her and she got him in the neck. And the stuff that she uses doesn't work. So that's why he kept popping his head up. And she leaned back. Bitch, if you don't put your head down, I'll kill you right fucking now. Put your head down. And so, of course, that was that. Wayne, or whatever his name is, he buried in the cellar. Her husband buries the bodies and she does the killing. And she just talking to him. She starts to torture him and everything. She takes one of them little claws, them claws that you use for pulled pork. She take one of them and rams it in his thigh. Then she takes some somethings and clips off his fingers. I'm just like, sir. And you was just trying to help. But she said, see, that's where you messed up trying to be the good Samaritan. I almost had Wayne. And I almost got caught fucking around with you. So, yeah, she ain't like that. She ain't like that. He was blowing the whistle, calling the police and all of that. And so, she's just standing behind him. She grabs this big ass machete and she's standing behind him with it. And she's about to, put it on his neck. And then she thinks, wait a minute. I'm doing this all wrong. Hold that thought. Puts the machete down on the top of his, on the top of his head, like she set it down like she set it on the counter. It was just so cavalier, just, what? Hold on, let me. But that right there was the top of his head. And it was just, the knife was just sticking out his head, like. And that's not funny, but y'all, I was so shook. I was like, wait, what? Did she just sit that on his head and it just stayed there? It was just boop like that. Y'all can't see it, but it was just hanging and it just stuck in his head. She sat it down like she sat the thing on the counter. Anyway, she goes upstairs and grabs her husband and she's like, you know what? We've been going about this all wrong. I'm thinking you should be a lot more involved. It's time for you to do a little bit more than just bury the bodies. And I have the perfect first victim for us. And who would that be? Piper. They had Piper ball and gagged in that chamber, in the little torture room, and the both of them gonna just do her. And that's where we end with them going, shing! As a team, united, as a united front, they just gonna be some murderers. And that's where it ended, guys. American Horror Stories always end on a bad note. And that's the one thing I don't like about the series. It's that the stories end with each villain on top. I don't be liking when the evil prevails. It's fine for them to be around and then here come the good and we trump all that. Victory. But when evil prevails, I be looking like, now why come the husband couldn't come in there and knock her block off and he and Piper ride off in the sunset? Now why couldn't that happen? Why did she get her way at the end of this? I don't be liking that. I don't be liking that. Marcy deserved to be in somebody's jail or dead herself. Anyway, we'll be back for the next one. I don't know how many, this is just the 3rd episode, but I don't know how many episodes are going to give me, or give us in the season. But I'm enjoying it. This one had to be my least favorite because we had to wait all that time before it actually turned around and it was, really giving American Horror Stories. Because before that was just like, what am I looking at? Then once we got that twist, the minute she pulled out that syringe, it was like, okay, all right, we on a roll now. We on a roll now. Anyway, guys, let me get off of here so I can edit this and get it out and actually get it up today. I don't want to upload it late and then it be processing for the next 24 hours, because that's what happened last week. I uploaded that P-Valley review a lot sooner than y'all got it because it was just processing for the longest. It processed, I feel like, a whole day. Then it was uploading a whole extra day. And then finally, ta-da. Anyway, be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.